Con có thích nói tiếng Việt không?
Con thích nói tiếng Việt
Hơn tiếng Anh? Ôi giời ơi. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to share how we teach our kids Vietnamese at home in order to keep the language alive even though we live in the United States. My name is Audrey. I am American, but my husband is from Vietnam. We have 2 kids that we're raising bilingually within the US. I actually speak Vietnamese. I taught myself the language so that way I could connect with my husband's family without having to have him translate everything. And then obviously when we had kids, we wanted to maintain the language. I mostly speak English, sometimes I speak Vietnamese with them, and it's a lot of fun. Before we get started, can you guys please leave a comment down below if you're teaching a second language at home and tell me what is the biggest struggle that you face? Huh? The subject in question is here. He's just woken up from a nap. So first and foremost, the most important thing that we have done is to speak Vietnamese from the day they were born. So my husband speaks 100% Vietnamese with the kids. I speak English and sometimes Vietnamese, but for the most part, we're sort of following the one parent, one language method, which is obviously as it sounds. One parent speaks one language, one parent speaks the other. They build both simultaneously, and that's how you have bilingual kids. I know not everybody has that luxury of having a native speaker within their home. Maybe it's a grandparent who's the native speaker and you don't get to see them that often. I think that's wonderful, and so also going to share some other tips. My husband speaks Vietnamese at home. My mother-in-law speaks only Vietnamese. She can't speak English. So my kids have 2 adults in the house that speak Vietnamese, and my son just yawned. Con có thích nói tiếng Việt không?
Con thích nói tiếng Việt
Hơn tiếng Anh? Ôi giời ơi. Nhưng mà mẹ nói tiếng Anh. Con thích nói tiếng Anh với mẹ không?
Vietnamese giống bà.
Oh, he said I like speaking Vietnamese like grandma, and he code switched just now. So I'm gonna talk about code switching in a minute, but code switching is when you just like randomly input. It's actually not random according to my friend who studies linguistics, but you just switch the languages. Yes.
Some books are tiếng Việt, so grandma can read.
Yeah, he said some books are tiếng Việt, so grandma can read. Đúng rồi, con giỏi quá. Đúng rồi. He's so cute. Honestly, I was here filming and he just came in and starts yapping. But you're helping my video, Alex, because you're giving us some context. So once again, he code switched. He said some books are in tiếng Việt, so grandma can read. Anyways, I guess that's a good segue into books. So we have a lot of bilingual books where they're in both English and Vietnamese. We also buy just 100% Vietnamese books every time we travel back to Vietnam.
And some books are English.
Yeah, some books are in English. So anyways, we have the great luxury these days of having bilingual reading materials in Amazon, you guys. I feel like 5 to 10 years ago, this was not a thing. But during the pandemic, I noticed a lot of independent authors creating these bilingual resources. One brand that we love actually is called Hello to Chow. And so I'm gonna link it down below. But they have not only books, but also like flashcards and other learning resources. Another suggestion is music, because kids love music, and honestly, I find that music is fun, engaging, and you have the rhythm and the repetition, which helps them to learn faster. There's some songs we have been singing every day since they were born, Vietnamese songs. So we have like kids songs we love, and I even made a Spotify playlist with some of our favorite Vietnamese kids songs that we play in the car. So I'll link that down below for you guys as well. You can also make your own playlist, but I think music is better than TV in my opinion, because obviously TV is screen time, which can be a struggle with kids wanting to watch TV 24/7.
And then I say yay!
And you say yay because you like screen time, but mommy doesn't like screen time. So music is definitely a good alternative. Another thing that we like to do is play a translation game. So my daughter is 5, my son is 3. And so I'll literally just, maybe during dinner, I'll just start saying, hey, can you translate? What is plate in Vietnamese? And one of them will say đĩa. And then, you know, we'll say, okay, what is
khủng long?
What is khủng long? And then they'll say dinosaur. So the main reason I love doing this is because not only is it a fun way to get them talking, but it also has like a quiz to see which words they know and which words they still need help with. And so yes, they're bilingual from birth, but for example, my daughter goes to school, she's in kindergarten, she's been in school for over 2 years now, and they speak English all day. So her Vietnamese skills are definitely starting to go down a little bit. She's not on the same level with Alex, my son, and so you can kind of see that through the translation game. Like the other day we played it and I said, what is VIET in English? And Amelia said, I don't know. Alex said, what is VIET? Right. Yep, to write.
To write a dial or call or story.
Yeah, sure. So,
baby.
Oh, baby. So you can see, it's just a fun way to see like where they're at, what they need help with. So the other thing I mentioned a few minutes ago was code switching, how they randomly will mix different words together and speak Vietlish, I guess you could say. And so we sometimes even play a game with this where I'll purposely say like speak Vietlish and see if they understand. So for example, I'll be like, hey guys, do you want to đi ra and go chơi at the công viên? And then after that we can go đi ăn kem được không? Like that. So we just like code switch, and then I'm like, do you know what I said? And they're like, yeah, I know. So a little bit more that you can do besides books, music, and games is you can just infuse the language in your daily activities. You just sneak it in. So if you're walking up the stairs, count the stairs in the target language. If they're getting dressed, say the name of the clothes or the body parts in the target language while you're doing something else, so it doesn't feel like a forced lesson. Do it in a way that's not stressful and just kind of blends in with your daily routine. I wanted to talk a little bit about why bilingualism matters in the first place. So the very obvious reason is that if they can speak a second language, they can talk to their family in Vietnam. It's exactly why I learned Vietnamese, but over the years of myself learning language and also teaching them the language, I learned that it's not just about the words spoken, but whenever you learn a second language, you're learning the culture, you're learning the traditions, you're learning different ways of thinking, and you're getting a new cultural identity as well. So I've talked about this before, how my identity has shifted a lot from going from being just American, not really knowing about Vietnamese culture or language, and then after learning that, I feel as though I'm obviously not Vietnamese, but I identify with some of those cultural factors a bit more, and so it's kind of like a blended cultural identity that comes from learning the second language. So it's very important to teach your kids language so that way they can also be able to have that connection with their cultural roots and be able to connect with family members. And then the other reason that it's super awesome is just because when you learn a second or third language, there are different brain neural pathways that are built, and so it helps not only with language learning but also with memory, with problem solving and logical thinking, and this is something that will help your kids throughout their entire educational journey. So while you think they're just learning a language, they're actually gaining so many other skills that you just can't see right now. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Of course, there are always challenges and it's not perfect. So for example, sometimes I want to help with the Vietnamese immersion because again, my daughter speaks English all the time at school. So sometimes I'll push more Vietnamese on her when she comes home. And the problems that we face is that sometimes they just don't want to engage, like mostly Amelia. She'll just keep responding in English. Alex, he's very easy. He loves speaking Vietnamese. Like you heard he said, he likes tiếng Việt hơn tiếng Anh, so it's very easy with Alex. But with Amelia, she kind of pushes back. She says she likes only English, and so we really have to keep reminding her, like, why is it even important to speak Vietnamese? I tell her, I say, Amelia, if you didn't know Vietnamese, how would you talk to grandma? So the main challenge really is getting them to want to learn and to understand why it's important. But again, the younger you start, the easier it is, the less opinions they have. So definitely start them while they're young, and hopefully you won't face too many challenges. But if you do, please comment down below. Tell me, like, have you tried teaching a language and what was the hardest part for you? Maybe I can have some more ideas that I haven't thought of while filming this, so just leave your comments down below. Okay, lastly, I want to mention that I do have another resource where I made a video about 4 years ago, and it's how to teach your baby Vietnamese, and I share 16 really useful and practical phrases that you can use with your baby or young kids. Go check that out. I'm going to link it down below and I'll put it on the end screen as well if you want to watch it next. Please give this video a like if you found it helpful. Please subscribe for more bilingual content from me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!